Dennis Kucinich was a mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, an 8-term member of Congress, and a 2-time presidential candidate for the Democrat nomination in 2004 and 2008. According to a recent op-ed, he may also be the last Democrat for peace. In the wake of a bombshell report that accuses the Biden administration of blowing up the Nordstream pipeline, Congress has been absolutely silent. Dennis Kucinich has not been silent. Watch.
We will not rest until you are held accountable by Congress, by the International Criminal Court, and by the American people at the next election.
Please welcome to the show my friend Dennis Kucinich. Great having you here. You know, one of the reasons I'm glad you're here is because I can prove to people that I really do have Democrat friends.
Of course.
But I do. And you and I probably, if we sat down and took 20 issues, we're on opposite sides on a whole bunch of them. But there's something I admire about you. You have the guts to say what you really think. And you don't just say, oh, what does the party want me to say today? The talking points that seem to come down end up people saying the exact same words, and I know that's not accidental. And you're one of those folks that you really say what you think.
Well, I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise, but when you think about it, the, groupthink was something I never really got into.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised that way. I think it was Emerson said that, above all, to thine own self be true. And I think people want to know what you really think, not what someone else told you.
This Nordstream, not Nordstream, that sounds like the press secretary of the White House calling it Nordstream pipeline. When that blew up, it was like, oh, no, we don't know what happened. Now the evidence seems to point that it was the U.S. that actually did that. That's scandalous.
Well, it's important for people to recognize that this report was written by a famed investigative journalist, Seymour Hersh. And he didn't win the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. He won it for investigative reporting. And what he did was in great detail about how the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline was planned way before the Russian invasion. This was in the works. The Russian invasion was a pretext, but this was all about a market heist. There are natural gas interests and wanted to take the market away from Russia. And just so people, at home and in the audience can understand the importance of this, just say right now you're paying for electricity here in Tennessee, $125, $150 a month. Imagine if your bills went up 4 to 6 times, if you paid $500 to $600 a month. That's what people in Europe are facing right now as a result of this pipeline being blown up. And these are supposed to be our allies. Now, yes, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But it's ridiculous for the people running the White House right now who went out, including the president, who on February 7th, 2021 said, if Russia invades, there's not going to be a Nord Stream pipeline, essentially, and we know how to do it. He kind of confessed in advance. I think that Congress has to investigate, and if not, the International Criminal Court's going to have to look at this.
Why would they have done that? Why would there be a reason that the U.S. would do that? Because we're hurting, as you say, our allies.
Well, the idea was, well, we're going to weaken Russia. Russia owns 51% of that pipeline through Gazprom.
Yeah.
The other 49% is owned by European interests. In addition to that, this was all about you destroy Russia's ability to sell low-cost gas to Europe, and then when you do that, you come in with your gas from the States and mark it up 4 to 6 times. I mean, it's like a mafia-type move.
Yeah.
And look, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, whatever. Just be honest with people.
Yeah.
And the American people have a right to know if their government, in their name, is committing acts of war, because this was an act of war.
Right.
You can't blow up a pipeline that provides electricity that serves 26 million homes.
Yeah.
Think of this. They did it at the beginning of, just before winter. I mean, how can you do something like that? So, yes, I spoke out, and I'll continue to do that.
Do you get ostracized by people in your own party? Do they The look on your face answers that question, I think.
It's something like, you know, I don't really want to be a member of a party that would have me or something. I don't know. But I really feel that you have to put country above party.
We should. We absolutely should. You have been calling for an American revival. Now, that sounds like something a Republican would say. So what do you mean when you call for an American revival?
A revival is the spirit of the country.
Okay.
That we have that we unite as Americans. Because when I ran for president twice, I saw an underlying unity in America. People, there is something that binds us as citizens of a common nation. And too much of our politics has been looking for ways to divide people and separate them from the deeper values which make us Americans. And so part of it is spiritual. You know, one of the mistakes that I think the Democratic Party has made over the years is to try to separate spiritual matters from governance. Because the fact of the matter is, I
agree. I think our audience does.
You know, our Constitution, yes, it does call for separation of church and state, but it was never meant to separate America from spiritual values.
Right.
And what are those values? Truth.
Yeah.
Freedom, liberty. I mean, these are all things that bind us as Americans. And, you know, we're forgetting that spiritual basis of nationhood. Our founders were keenly aware of that. And that's one of the reasons why I think we're drifting as a nation. We need to recover that. And so a revival of the economy, steel, automotive, aerospace, shipping, we gave that up with China trade and some of these other bad trade deals. We need to make things again, buy American. You know, that's on the economic side. We have to have a revival of education so every child in this country can look forward to getting a college education so they can contribute to make America grow intellectually. I really worry about this country getting so distracted by wars, which is where we are right now, Governor, that we're going to destroy what it's taken hundreds of years to build.
You have to come back because I thoroughly enjoy having conversations with you. And it's a great reminder that Republicans and Democrats can be different on a lot of issues, but still come back to the center, which is loving this country, loving our Constitution, and wanting to honor and respect it. And promise me that you will come back and be a guest again.
Love to, Governor.
Love to have you again. For our audience, I want you to head over to Huckabee.tv. We have links to follow Dennis Kucinich on social media. You can also check out the Kucinich Report on Substack. Hey, Mike Huckabee here. Listen, if you love your mom, apple pie, and being conservative, you know you ought to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell and click the like button and show all the leftists out there that conservatives are thriving and patriotism is far from dead. Am I pandering too much? No way. I'm just getting started.